Did you know that UK chat show host Jonathan Ross once starred in Halo 3? He supplies the voice of one of the Marines who helps Master Chief out. You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello and welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 67. My name's Gareth Briley. I'm going to be your host. And on my virtual left is Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
Good,
Are you alright?
I'm very good. I'm bouncy.
Good.
That's what I'm going to call my day. Bouncy.
It's alright to,
Good.
it's alright to have the host nice and bouncy.
Nice and bouncy. And on my virtual right is Mr. Richard Dobson. How you doing, Richard?
Hi there. Bouncy as well. How are you guys?
Double bouncy. Very good, thank you, Richard. Good. This is like delirium style.
Yeah. I'm not bouncy at all.
How would you describe it in one word, your day? What's your feelings today, James?
Melancholic.
Ah, okay. I might say that.
That's positive for James, though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
As good as it gets.
That's upbeat. Yeah. Now, what kind of week have we had? Richard, what have you been doing this week? What interesting stuff?
Not the week just gone, but the week before, I joined James on the trend that is online concerts. Mm. So I watched one from a band called the Cinematic Orchestra, who are like it's hard to describe, a little bit electronic, a little bit jazzy. They're the type of people that you will have definitely heard one or two of the songs used in adverts and stuff, and movie trailers and everything. But that was interesting. This was a concert that they did, supposed to have been out at the end of last year, so it was all pre-recorded. For whatever reason, they delayed it until the beginning of February, basically. It was good. I've seen them live a couple of times before, so this was I kind of knew what to expect going into it. But it was just nice. Definitely like feels like a sit down sort of gig anyway. So my partner and I sort of made an evening of it with some nice food and having this on. But then it only lasted an hour, which caught us off guard.
just settling down for the whole night, and that was it.
Yeah. Done by about 9 o'clock.
Wow. The Cinematic Orchestra. I look for those. I have a listen.
You would have definitely heard some of the songs.
Okay. James, what about you?
Well, not quite as exciting as that. I had Bingsy this week. And for those that don't know, last week I said I would like to try Bingsy. So I did. It's my own take on Bingsy. So it's ice cream and rice crackers and strawberries. I think it worked out quite well, actually. It was nice. It was very nice.
Good.
And then I watched Bad Boys for Life, which was a little bit less enjoyable than the Bingsy. I think even though it got really good reviews, the third installment of the Bad Boys trilogy, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't think it lived up to the hype. I think they completely missed a trick with that one. It's like the first hour, just being really morbid and depressive. And I thought, these will used to be fun.
That's what happens when you hit your 50s.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't know, but I'm glad you confirmed it. But yeah, it's always a worrying sign when they say the name of the film in the first 5 minutes. You know, when they go, Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah.
Like, oh dear, They actually did that. It's a shame because Will Smith was still pretty good in it, but the writing was terrible. It's a boring film.
The first ones weren't great at all. I
mean,
mean
they
weren't
better than that.
But they weren't. They were terribly written then. I mean, it was. It wasn't great.
It is funny.
So you've been watching Cinematic Orchestra. You watched a film that came out about 8 months ago, and you've made Bingsu. You never know we're in a lockdown, would you? I mean, this kind of excitement.
Living a life.
Richard, have you had anything else this week?
I've just been in lockdown watching TV. What else can you do?
No,
so Laura and I have watched The Serpent and It's a Sin recently. It's a Sin's very good.
Yeah, we talked about It's a Sin last week, did we? Or maybe I talked about that with someone else. Not being recorded. Yeah.
I don't remember it.
No, maybe I did. Maybe someone else. Yes, It's a Sin's meant to be very good, isn't it? Channel 4.
And then obviously it was a Super Bowl at the weekend, so I stayed up and watched that. And then I've been watching Travel Man as well, because it seems like that's the only way I'm going to get to travel anywhere this year.
Yeah, I just got invited to a festival in Germany in August. I'm optimistic. It might happen. Good. What's The Serpent like?
Very good.
Okay,
yeah.
I need to watch that.
That's on iPlayer, and I believe the last episode's being shown this weekend as well.
Good.
But yeah. I think it's 8 episodes, and it's the first episode's arguably the worst episode. After that, I was completely hooked. Just the way that it drips the story out is very well done.
Yeah.
I think the only issue is there's a notable difference between like the first 6 episodes and the last 2 or something, because they filmed the second half during lockdown first time.
Oh, I see. Right,
So
you can tell.
It sort of disappears from it sort of changes from being in cars for real to then having a green screen behind them.
Oh, really? You can tell.
Yeah. But other than that, that just took you out of the moment a little bit. But other than that, it's very well done.
Good.
Who won the Super Bowl?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and
Never heard of them.
Tom Brady winning another Super Bowl.
Who?
Which everyone wants to see.
Do you know? I watched the first. I started watching 15 minutes of it, but it was one of the things that was just on late at night, and I thought,
Yeah.
"What am I doing? This finishes at 3:00."
I know.
I watched a film called Greenland on Amazon Prime, which is all right, and it's pretty good. If you want something apocalyptic, just to remind yourself, it can't be this bad. About asteroids, a comet coming to Earth and destroying the world, and that's on Amazon Prime. That's all right. That's pretty good. I enjoyed it. If you like a good apocalyptic movie, felt very 90s.
Who's in it?
Gerald Butler and the actress who I've forgotten the name of, who's in Deadpool. Deadpool's missus who dies.
Marina Baccarin.
That's right. Yeah, she's in it
That's
as
the
well.
one.
They're both very good. There's some really lovely scenes. It's good. Yeah, it's good. And the other thing I've been thinking this week, which kind of leads us into this thing, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because I've got my Xbox Series X, I've got my PlayStation 5, and I'm looking at it and going, nothing's really come out yet, has it? And I'm worried about things coming out soonish. There's not a lot. It feels a bit kind of dry. Even on the indie games, now correct me if I'm wrong, you two, it feels a bit dry at the moment. It doesn't feel there's something really decent that's got my attention. Maybe I'm wrong here. I definitely don't feel I'm seeing the power of those two consoles yet. The only game that I can really see it is Assassin's Creed still, but which still looks. But that's a game that came out on November the 10th, and I'm feeling the need. I need some enthusiasm about this year. Do you think we're going to get some big games?
I don't know.
Yes.
Thank you,
I
Richard.
haven't got time to play them.
Jesus, you've got more than
I've
enough
got
time.
games to play.
Richard, I'm going to go to you. You think yes? You think it's going to be good?
Yeah. We've got one to discuss soon in the news section that I'm very excited about.
Okay. Good.
But yeah, I'm in a way I kind of agree as well. I'm hoping for some purely next gen games to come out. I know that Judgment got announced last week. is going to be that's a remaster of last gen, but that's only going to be on the Series X. I don't believe that's going to be on the Xbox One at least.
Right. It's also getting to a month like February when there isn't really anything out apart from Little Nightmares 2, which, you know, is a kind of indie game in a sense. It's a platformer. There's not any other big or any other games really this month. That's why it's quite hard for us on the podcast. We're getting enough details about what we're playing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not pushing the boundaries of the new hardware.
No.
Which I think is what we're all waiting for.
We're all waiting for something, aren't we? To knock our socks off.
It's almost like they didn't know it was coming. It's like they didn't know we were the next gen. So they just went, oh, we better start making some games.
And then some of it is down to COVID, of course. But I think there is a part of that as well. It doesn't feel like they were ready. I think a lot of things are delayed. But yeah, that's all I was feeling. I was just thought, oh my word. I never feel like I'm running out of games because I'm always trying to play the games that I haven't yet completed yet. But at the moment I feel like, hold on. It's getting sparse.
Yeah, February is looking a bit lacking.
Yeah.
March is a bit better.
A bit better, but not brilliant. End of March, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, there's Doodle Devil announced this week.
That is true. That is true.
I'm lucky to run.
But what have we been playing then? Prove me wrong. Richard, what have you been playing?
I've been slowly working through the Yakuza games that got brought onto Game Pass a few weeks ago.
Right.
Well, my Yakuza 3 review's now up on the site, so I'm working through Yakuza 4 at the moment. And I played this. I played most of it last year when the remaster came on the PS4. So I'm hoping to have that review done by the end of this week, and then I can move on to Yakuza 5, and then after that I can hopefully play something else. Because as much as I love the Yakuza games, I am having a bit of a burnout with them.
Yeah, I bet you are. It must get quite familiar.
Yeah, it's a big undertaking. But at first I was like, 3 Yakuza games back to back. And they're certainly not bad games, but there is too much of a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, James?
Oh, sorry. I was daydreaming then. I've been catching up with my favourite games from yesteryear.
Oh my god.
Including one called Stacking. I've seen you've heard of it.
Did that come out on the Game Boy?
No. It's on the Xbox 360.
Is this one that turned 10 years old this week?
It certainly did. Good remembering there, Richard. It came out on 9th of February, 2011. It's a puzzle game where you use Matryoshka dolls to solve the puzzles. So you jump in and out of Russian dolls to get around any obstacles and use such abilities. Yeah, it's a really good game. I think you should all check it out right now.
Just in case everyone's listening still, it is 2021. 2021, it's not the podcast in 2011.
Can you not a game where you can get inside a doll?
All right.
Get flashlights everywhere.
Right now.
It sounds like a different game you're playing.
Yeah. So what you're playing then?
Sorry, yeah.
Sounds like something from Yakuza.
It does.
Yeah.
But no, I know it's an old game, but it stands the test of time. I actually played it this week.
I can't believe I'm laughing because I know James hasn't played any of the old games like Skyrim or these huge, or the Batman games, any of these ones. But Stacking holds the test of time.
I honestly, I played it twice now, all the way through.
Oh my god!
And it's so much fun.
Twice in 10 years.
Wow. Wow.
If you want to know more, there's a look back at it on the Xbox Hub website, right now.
Good.
You check it out, guys.
We will do that. I'll get on to
Wait till the next game I've got to play. I'll tell you that in a minute. Over to you, Richard. Oh, no, you go.
Well, I'm not going to follow it. I'm going to follow it with much excitement, so I can't. I'm reviewing Train Sim 2 DLC now, which I did.
He hasn't got a leg to stand on.
I've got a leg to stand on. Yeah. So I've been on the trains again for my 100th time, doing the Southern Eastern Railway line between King's Cross and somewhere else in Kent. It's the same thing. I feel like I know these trains off by heart. I know how to operate a train. There's one mission that's near the beginning. It was pitch black at night, so I was driving at night, and I had to wait for the signal to change. That's how it started. Signal took 5 minutes to change. So I was sitting at a screen. I couldn't really see because it was night. Watching a red signal. Hopefully, maybe one day it would change to green. But what am I doing? That was a dark night of the soul. I'll tell you that. Train Sim World 2. Good. Richard, what else?
You streamed it?
No, I couldn't stream that.
Stream turned itself off for an activity.
Richard, what else? Anything else you've been playing?
Yes. Ooh. I feel like I need to improve the standards.
Good.
So I've been revisiting Zelda Breath of the Wild this week.
Do you know what? I really want to play this. I want to get a Switch.
Should do.
It's a great game.
Have you played it, James?
I've watched it being played.
Okay.
I watched the whole game. I'm not even joking.
Okay.
I watched the entire game being finished.
Wow.
So I can definitely say it's a great game.
Probably watched more of it than I've played it then.
But Richard, you're enjoying it, yeah?
Yeah, I started it summer last year, I think, because I'd picked up a Switch Lite, and then I stopped playing it after about 25 hours because I got to the bit. So you have to basically save 4 big hulking mechanical beasts, and there's a bit before you save the second one where it goes into like a big stealth section because you need to recover a helmet.
Okay.
And I couldn't do it, and it was really stressing me out. So I just put it to one side for months and months. And I had a friend pick it up at Christmas, and he says, "Oh, you should try this." So I tried that way and managed to do it first time. And ever since then, I've just, other than the Yakuza games, this is what I've been playing a lot of.
Because it's quite hard, isn't it, Zelda? It's not an easy game. Yeah.
And there's no hand. It's open world, but there's no hand holding with where to go or what to do. And you'll get like sort of hints and tips from various NPCs, but it doesn't save those hints and tips or anything like that. It's up to you to really remember it.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, very, very good. And I mean, because I'm sort of playing half an hour at a time, really. I'm barely scratching the surface of what that game is capable of. So there's the whole physics system to it, and there's a temperature system.
Wow.
And just there's so many little details that you need to. You're probably not even aware are happening.
Great. Well, maybe that's what I need to do. Get a Switch. I can't justify that. James, what else have you been playing?
A game called How to Take Off Your Mask Remastered.
Thank you, James. Thank you very much. Right, also, tell us about this, James.
I mean, I'd rather not, to be honest. You can carry on.
Is it a COVID game?
I mean, that would be brilliant.
Right.
But it isn't. It's a visual novel about metaphorical masks. And it's about this young woman and young man who have been childhood friends. And one gets turned into a half cat, half human. Right. And the other one moonlights as a royal guard. So basically, in these other forms, as a guard and a cat, or a half cat, they get to really get to know each other a bit better and get a bit romantic. And that's the story.
Oh.
And it's a visual novel. So you sat there reading quite a lot.
Yeah.
I saw Japanese, the voiceover,
Right.
but at least the writing's English.
Yeah.
If you're into romantic stories, I mean, it's alright.
Do you think they have released it because they had to take off your mask? Do you think they're going for the sort of like the anti-vaccine market? I think maybe they think it's a
They try to hit those Google keywords.
yeah. There's something going on if it's remastered. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a strange one to remaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a visual novel. You know what you're getting with those. It's going to be a lot of reading, a couple of choices, and just a bit of romance.
What's the best game to have a bit of romance in? What's the best romantic game you've ever played? That's a good question. Or is that going to ruin what you're going to do later on, Richard?
I mean, it's Valentine's themed. I don't think it's
no.
subjective. Yeah. No, it's not going to ruin it.
Is there any big game that you've really been in, you've sort of invested yourself into that kind of love affair? I'm trying to think myself.
For me, it was probably Final Fantasy X.
Okay, yeah.
That came out when I was hitting adolescence, and it was just like, oh, look, young love. I think that came out at the right time for me.
Okay. What about you,
I
James?
think it's probably a way out. I think me and you in that prison, Gareth.
That wasn't romantic, I'll tell you that.
I don't know. I mean, that special gift that you gave me.
Oh, God,
I've seen them all.
Yeah. I can't even remember. I'm trying to think of a game.
Nights.
Lonely Nights in the Prison. I'm trying to think of one. No, I can't think of any. Maybe Red Dead 2, me and my horse. I was quite romantically attached to my horse.
Alright. I mean, a bit weird.
Yeah. Lastly, I'm going to just quick say there's a game called Speed Limit. I'm playing a little indie game, and it's like almost like a platform shooter. And the idea is you start off on a train, and everyone's trying to kill you, and then you've got to kill them and run like an action movie. It's like a Die Hard film, but 2D, and you're running, and then suddenly you're in a car, and you're driving, and then you're in an airplane, and then you're flying. So it's a hard game, but quite enjoyable. It's like playing really old school, so you die all the time, any second. Repeat, die, repeat, die. I'm the worst.
Everyone's after you.
Everyone's after you, yeah. So you might have 20, you might have 30 people behind you, but you've got to keep running, you've got to keep moving, because if you stop, everything gets you.
So it's like if you go out in public without a mask.
Exactly.
Same experience.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk some news, I think. Let's go to the news.
Cool.
Big story this week. CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk and Witcher developers had a bit of a mad time, really. They got hacked, haven't they? I've really lost this story's thread now. It's amazingly like a soap opera. What happened? Richard, you tell us. Can you just summarise it for us a little bit?
Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday, maybe. An unnamed actor is what they were calling.
I know, an actor.
Yeah, sort of hacked into CD Projekt Red and stole the source code for Cyberpunk and The Witcher as well, I believe, and then left them a little text file. That when I first read it, I genuinely thought it was a joke, because it just seemed so immature. Did this little text file? Some of the word it was used, but then they'd basically given them a ransom, saying if you don't give us money within 48 hours, then we're going to release this. And I believe it has been released now, because CD Projekt Red came out and said we don't negotiate with terrorists, sort of thing.
And it's been released onto the dark web. It's been sold on the dark web in an auction. This is the rumour that I've heard. Is that right, James?
Yeah, for $7 million. apparently.
Wow.
Seems quite expensive. For a bit of code for games that are already out there.
Yeah, this is the bizarre thing. It's not like it's an unreleased game anymore.
No.
But is it...
No.
Now, I don't know about this, so I'm guessing. Is it because the source code... Have they got a copy of that source code? Or is it their only copy? Because that feels to me where the ransom would be in effect. If they're
the only copy.
If it's the only copy of the source code, that means they can't do anything else with that game. They can't... They don't
They can't update it.
No.
They can't fix it.
They can't fix
a
it.
disaster.
Is that what it means?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, this is another conspiracy.
The twist.
Yeah. That's what I think it means. If people know, please let us know. But
sense.
That makes... Because otherwise it's just like, you're just selling a copy of the game for $7 million.
Mm. I'd read somewhere as well that it might be an inside job, but I'm not sure how true that is.
They said it's an actor, haven't they? So is it an actor who's worked on Cyberpunk then, or on The Witcher? Is that right? It was an employee, wasn't it? That's what they've said. CD Projekt Red, I think.
If they're narrowing it down to an actor, then surely they know who it is, but they're just not going to release that information.
Now,
I read that it was a group that had done it allegedly. A group of people.
Do you know what? I've got some experience, and I'm an actor, and I work with actors. I can't imagine any actor I know be able to pull this off. So I'm with you, James. I think it's
not you.
Yeah, imagine it. I think it must be a group. It's got to be a group.
Yeah, allegedly they say it might be Hello Kitty. Whoever they are.
Who's Hello Kitty?
I heard it was quite big in the hacking world.
Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it?
That,
So they must have got this actor who's been working with them that he had or she had an inside into that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's an amazing story, though.
It's like something out of a game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the next game. It's in the start of that next contract.
Is this all because the reception that Cyberpunk received? Do you think this is why this has happened to them as opposed to anyone else?
I don't know. I think it might be because they're a really wealthy company. I mean, whatever the reception of Cyberpunk, they made a lot of money very quickly, and they made a lot of money from The Witcher, of course. Yeah. And so they were very, their stock was very high, even though with all the negative paying back and all that stuff. A lot of people bought Cyberpunk. So maybe it's to do with that. Maybe it's just to do with it's a good way of think they might pay up. And you're right, Richard. There's probably a bit of it going, they don't want any more bad publicity. But like you said, they've just gone, this is what's happened. They've sort of said, we're not going to negotiate. God, it's a mad thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I do feel sorry for him a bit.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I can't wait to find out who and what and how's it happened.
Stay tuned next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix next week.
Yeah.
Hang on, guys.
Just after the GameStop.
GameStop film. Yeah. Talking about movies, linking us in. The casting's been announced for the Last of Us TV show. Now, I'm speaking to the wrong two people here because you two are the only two people who have never played these games. But The Last of Us, the game on PlayStation, is being made into a TV show with HBO, and it's got Neil Druckmann, is that his name? He's co-writer and co-creator, and with someone who else, English writer, I think worked on Chernobyl. Maybe I've got that wrong.
Craig?
Yeah.
Craig Mazin?
Yeah. And so they're both running it together. And the casting was announced. So who's playing Joel is, what's his name? Mandalorian.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal playing Joel. And playing Ellie is, anyone who's watched Game of Thrones, what's her name?
I can't remember her name in Game of Thrones.
No, what's her real name?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, she's...
Bella Ramsey, yeah, that's it.
And so she in Game of Thrones is famous. She's a kind of young northern
She's a badass.
She's banging, and doesn't she take out something like a troll or something, a giant? She does something amazing.
I do remember.
But she was very good in that. She was really, amazingly.
She was.
She was very young as well. So obviously she's getting to the right age. What do you two? I mean, you two don't know the game. So what do you two think about the casting? Has it been positive? Have you heard out with people thinking that's good?
I never finished the game, and I even tried to play it again at the end of last year, and I never finished it again.
Right.
But I can't help thinking between this and the news about Gina Carano being sacked from The Mandalorian and whatever else she was going to do in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
With Pedro Pascal now attached to this, I don't know what happens with the rest of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I don't think he. I think he probably. I think it felt like The Mandalorian. I haven't seen The Mandalorian. You two. I've seen episode 1. So I think from all the announcements they made, it did feel like it was going to do one more season, and that was it. Maybe.
It could put someone else under the mask.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
Because, to be honest, when he took it off in The Mandalorian...
Don't tell me that. I've got to watch the things, yeah?
I don't care.
Oh.
When he took it off, I thought, I'll put it back on.
Yeah.
You seem so cool. And now you're not.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I think he's really good in Game of Thrones now.
Yeah.
Pedro.
Oh, he's a great actor.
I think he did a good job.
He's a brilliant. He's really good in many things that I've forgotten the name of. What's the thing about the Colombian drug series? Narcos. He's great in that. Yeah, I think actually he'd be a really good Joel.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think he'd be really good. I think he has that kind of worn, kind of graphic. What's the word? Graphic, green, earthy feel to him. Richard, you happy with it?
Yeah, I mean, if it's got the blessing of Neil Druckmann, then obviously it's gonna fit with whatever they've got planned for it.
Yeah. And the casting of Ellie is pretty good casting. I mean, there's loads of casting suggestions going around, but everyone they cast is probably in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
So I think it's right to have someone who's actually... I mean, Ellie in the first game is, 14, 15 maybe?
I think she's 14, something like that, yeah.
No, it's really good. Do you know what? I'm really excited. And we've talked about this before. I don't really like... games to films adaptations because I think sometimes the game does it, and especially with The Last of Us, it's a film, it tells the story already. Why would they do it? But when they've got Neil Druckmann on board, and I think the world is so interesting, I think that first season is going to probably tell the story of the first game. I think that's what it's going to do, probably.
I think that'd be good though.
Yeah.
For me, having not played it as well.
Yeah, that's it. I think looking at it now, it's people are starting to see the storytelling in games, and they're trying to get it out there to a wider audience. So I think if this is successful, we're going to see a lot more.
Yeah. Hope don't make it look like The Walking Dead when everyone's in All Saints clothes. Think about what Walking Dead drives around. They all look so trendy now. And their clothes, trendy, chic, apocalypse look. Okay, good. Let's have a little chat about the announcement that happened about an hour ago. Richard, what was that?
That was the release date for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is June the 11th.
So there is hope.
A year to the day that I believe it got announced.
Yeah, so another big game. So PlayStation have got now, they've got Returnals now in April, I think, isn't it? They've got Kenya, Bridge of Spirits is a kind of indie game that's in March, and then this is the next big one for them, is it? I think it might be.
Yeah. I remember when this got announced, I think we did a podcast with William, and William was saying that they'd just given it the date of a launch window, which could be any time within the 12 months. But I think I'm quietly hearing that perhaps they've chosen this date because they expect more PS5s to be available a lot more to be available around spring, summertime. So by the time that this comes out, there'll be a lot more people ready to go.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's because it sounds like it's been the game's been sort of in a state to release for quite a while.
Right, and that makes sense.
This is what I'm hearing anyway.
James, you excited about this? Don't think you will be.
I mean, I would be able to have a PS5. I don't have one, so I can just ignore it.
Yeah.
And put it to the back of my mind. I think it would be a really good game, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other one was really good. The other one, the PS4, looked great. The updated version one.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really good. So it will be a lot of fun. I kind of want something else, though. I don't want another platformer at the moment. But yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Well, you want a puzzle game? I know a decent one.
Oh, so many puzzle games. Good. On other bits of news, there is... I don't know, I think that's it. Let's just cover that. Let's go into the quiz. Let's just get straight into the quiz.
A quiz?
Yeah, we've got a quiz.
Please tell me you're not doing it.
No, I look, my quiz from last week, if you've listened, has come down. It's had some really good feedback from people. Richard, what do you think being quiz master?
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
Sorry, James. I did enjoy it.
Yeah. James,
Wow.
I was going to do it for you, Richard, because I thought you were on, you see.
I nearly copied it for this week.
If I'm honest. Good. James has gone mad.
I would have enjoyed it more if Richard did it. I think we need to get a better sample of games.
I chose the easiest games for you. And
You chose the
Neil.
games that you knew.
No, I chose the games that Neil knows. He doesn't know as many as you. Both of you don't know hardly any games.
That's cheating there.
Yeah. Wow. Right, let's do a quiz. Richard, over to you.
All right, then. Let me just bring it up. So, yeah, as we've said before, it's Valentine's Day this weekend.
Mm.
So I don't think we've had a Valentine's quiz before. So I've gone for 15 very loosely related to Valentine's Day questions.
Good.
I'm Let me just put an extra column into my spreadsheet so I know who gets it right.
We'll talk amongst ourselves.
Nice.
Do you want to do your buzzers again?
Yeah.
So I can remember them?
James, what
Sure.
is yours? Okay. There we go.
Gareth low, James high.
Yeah.
Right, I'll remember that.
Kills my voice.
I can imagine James's is worse after it. 15 questions. Just buzz in.
Okay.
Do it that way. Okay, question 1. What is the name of Dominic Santiago's wife? Gareth?
Mrs. Santiago?
It is, but first name, please. James?
Is it Maria?
Well done. Yep.
Da.
After a flyer. Question 2.
Hang on.
You've not?
No, I have.
Oh,
Right, this is good. More games to play, please.
the next 14 aren't all Gears of War, though, I'm sorry.
Damn.
Question 2. Yeah. What is the Destiny Valentine's themed event called? Gareth?
Romance Under the Stars.
Not a bad name, but not the right one, unfortunately. James?
Grinding for loot.
That's every day in Destiny, not just Valentine's Day.
I like that. Grinding for loot for Valentine's. That's very good. Very good, James.
But no, it is called Crimson Days.
My second guess.
Question 3. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, but here we go. Zuteki Dane is the love theme from which Final Fantasy? Gareth?
Final Fantasy 7.
Incorrect. James.
Is it Final Fantasy 15?
No, sorry. It's the one I mentioned earlier.
Oh, it's 10.
It's 10.
Oh.
Question 4. Jill Valentine is a character from which series?
Oh.
I didn't. Oh, damn!
James.
Sorry, I got too excited there. Is it Resident Evil?
Well, here's well done.
Get in.
Right, this one's quite a long one. Question 5. What is the name of the enemy who you need to visit on specific dates, including Valentine's Day, for an achievement? Oh, Gareth.
Calendar Man.
Oh, well done.
In Batman.
Yeah.
Yes, in Batman Arkham City. Well done.
It's a good achievement, that is. Very good.
Question 6. Nick Valentine has what job in Fallout 4? Gareth again.
Is he dating agency?
No. James?
Is he a Twitch streamer?
No. He's a detective.
Oh, Babs, yes, he's a robot detective, isn't he? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Question 7. Which of the following is the only one that has their health indicated by hearts? Spyro the Dragon, Link, Crash Bandicoot, or Ratchet? Gareth?
Link.
Well done.
Good.
Sorry, I'm
Silence.
still thinking the answer. Sorry, I'm working out in my head.
I think this one's for James, this next question.
What do you mean?
Question 8. Hatoful Boyfriend is a visual novel in which you can date which animal? Oh, Gareth got there first.
Pigeons.
Well done.
Jesus.
Unbelievable. Fuming.
Question 9. Vincent Valentine is a hidden character in which game?
Wow. A hidden character.
Gareth?
Tekken?
No. Good shout, but no. James?
No idea. Soul Calibur?
No.
Oh, that's a good shout as well.
It's Final Fantasy VII.
Wow. It's tense.
Question 10 is... You've both gone very serious. Question 10. This is another long one. Great Greed on the Game Boy is often attributed to being the first game to allow same-sex marriage, but which post-apocalyptic game is reportedly the second? Gareth?
Fallout.
Which one?
Fallout 4.
No. James?
Fallout 3?
Fallout 2.
Oh, damn! Gutted. There's too much of a gap between us fuming and anger.
This next one should be easy. So be ready. Question 11. What is the name of the infamous GTA San Andreas mod that allowed players to access the hidden... Gareth?
Black coffee.
Okay,
Hot coffee.
What are we saying, James?
Damn.
Is it whatever Gareth said second time? Dark coffee.
You can't have that. You got it wrong.
Dark coffee.
It's hot coffee, and I can't give it to either of you.
I don't mind doing it, mate.
I can't believe you got it wrong.
I've never heard of it.
No.
Thanks for stopping me as well before I had to describe what that mini game entailed as well.
Oh, good, Richard. Do you want to describe it now
What was it?
for the people at home?
Yeah, finish it.
All right. What is the name of the infamous GTA San Andreas mod that allowed players to access a hidden fornicating minigame?
Oh, now I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Question 12. Cupid is a playable god in which MOBA game?
Woohoo.
James?
Is it League of Legends?
No.
Mm.
I don't know any other MOBA.
Gareth?
Overwatch.
No. Smite.
Smite.
Hold on. What's the score?
Question. It's tight. It's 3-2 to someone. Question 13. True or false? Joker can be romanced in Mass Effect. James.
True.
It's the other one.
You just guessed that then, James. You never played Mass Effect.
I did.
You did a
I don't
50-50.
know. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you want
No,
to
that's
answer,
not-
Gareth?
Yes, false.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Oh, James. You gambled though. I like it.
Question 14. What colour Pokemon appear more frequently during Valentine's Day in Pokemon Go? Gareth?
Red.
No.
Damn. Trick question.
James?
I need to get this right. But I'm not sure. Is it blue?
No.
Oh, James.
Damn.
It's pink.
Oh, wow, I should have said pink. What did I say pink? I thought it can't be pink.
And finally, question 15. Breeding rates are multiplied how many times in Ark Survival Evolved during its Valentine's Day event? Gareth?
Times 20.
But not that many.
Yeah. Times 5.
James? No, it's times 3.
Good question. Good quiz.
So
Well,
at the end
could
of
be a
that,
good quiz. Who won? Yeah.
at the end of that, Gareth got 4 and James got 2.
This is depressing.
The good news is that the listeners are the real winners because they would have got more right and shouted at us as we only
They would
got.
have got
Yeah,
all 15.
we definitely let ourselves down.
We did. I'm afraid we did, James. It could have gone anyway.
It was a good quiz though, Richard.
Very good quiz.
Thanks for
Richard.
that.
Really good.
Much better than previous that we've heard in recent times.
Just before we go, let's just look at a couple of things we missed. There's 2 articles that I saw that I thought were kind of usual. There's sort of game related, but not really. There's one about streaming. How there's an article about how streaming is going to change after lockdown, after all this kind of finishes. And it's quite an interesting thing, isn't it? About the big question is about how people will they go back to the cinemas. If they go back to the cinemas, what kind of things will they see? Are they only going to go and see kind of big blockbusters? Are they going to just, or are we going to get into a system where, like HBO Max, where they're doing their whole content for a limited time, but over the year, aren't they, for HBO Max subscribers? What's your thoughts, you two? Do you think cinema? And we've talked about this before. Do you think cinemas kind of will have to adapt and change after lockdown? Is it?
I think it's always got a price.
Mm.
There's nothing quite like that cinema experience, especially for like a James Bond film or a 3D film.
Yeah.
Something where you need that atmosphere and environment. But it does seem that other films will take the easier route and just go straight onto Netflix or Amazon Prime, and even Sky. Sky Cinema got quite a lot of original films now. And that seems to be the way we're going. We're more on demand. So cinemas will have a price, but they won't be the only price.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think something like I don't think something like a Marvel movie will make the same kind of money it does on the streaming $10 than it does in the cinema release worldwide. So I think they will want to get back to that. But at the same time, it's like if you've got a movie that maybe cost $40 million to make, there is a case for it might be have more an audience on the streaming. It's really interesting with Netflix have sort of gone to Sundance, and Sundance is a film festival that happened in January, and then the features that they bought up quite a lot of the features that they saw there, so they went and just bought the films up really, because they knew they probably weren't going to have a cinema release, so they bought up a lot of films that they're going to show in the next few months. And those are the kind of movies that are not necessarily blockbusters. They're more indie films, or they're more dramas, or they're more kind of like smaller films.
Makes sense.
But it's a question about whether we want to go back to how it's about us going back to stuff, isn't it? It's getting back there. Is it? Do you think that's hard, Richard?
Well, I think I would really miss cinema personally. Even last year, sort of in those summer months where things were a bit better, I went to the cinema quite often because I've one of those pay monthly cards, so I was able to, and it was one of like 5 minutes from where I live now, so it wasn't an issue for me to go to the cinema. And I went and I saw Tenet twice, for example. Then because there wasn't much on, they started showing classic films, and I went to see a couple of those. And it's just the whole. So I went to see Tenet because it was on a big screen, and the sound was absolutely incredible. I know that a lot of people moaned about the mixing on that, but in terms of having a surround sound with like the bullet shots and everything was just it's unlike anything you'll ever get at home, regardless of what setup you've got. And I think that's where cinema's gonna be better. It will always be better than a home setup. But whether we can actually ever go back to that, I'd like to think we can.
Okay, yeah.
But we'll see, won't we? It's all just a guessing game for everything.
It is, yeah. I think we've talked about this before, and they're probably looking at all the options, aren't they? Now, I think there's lots of conversations and looking at lots of numbers. It'll be very interesting to see what Mulan did for Disney on the channel.
Yeah, I think Mulan's a bad example though.
Yeah. Because
what was it? Was it like 20 quid for 2 months exclusivity? Whereas Laura and I that both wanted to see it just waited those extra 2 months, and then the day it was available for everyone else, we watched it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it had already been delayed from March. So what was an extra 2 months for a 2-hour film, really?
I'm going to ask you both a question. Say, Black Widow, the new Marvel movie. I know James is going to say he's not going to watch Black Widow, so it's going to be maybe it's Eternals, the next big Marvel movie, and say that was offered to you on streaming on the Disney Channel, and it was £35 to watch it on day one. Would you do it, James?
Is the cinema open at that point?
It is, but it's limited.
The cinema.
Yeah.
I go at any time. I go at 7 in the morning.
Okay, good. That's good.
Skip my breakfast.
Good.
And just go straight there.
Good. Richard?
Yeah, I'd wait.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm not paying 35 quid to watch it at home.
Okay, good. There you go.
I'll pay a tenner. I'll pay 10 to watch it at home.
It'd be cheaper than me to do that, then I would go to cinema in London.
Yeah, but that article that you sent us as well was interesting, and then saying that there's been a rise in piracy over the last 12 months.
Yeah.
And it's tactics like that you like, well, is it any wonder really?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's the prices are really, really mad, but it's really, I mean, it's really tricky because you're younger, both of you, a lot younger, and it gets to a point when you get to a certain age, go to cinema is hell on earth, and because it's hard to kind of get rid of people shouting and talking and all that stuff. That drives me mad. And so I have to go to sort of like pay extra money and go to all the pictured houses which are closed down now. And so it's a tricky thing now because you go, would I do that? Would I pay that? I think maybe I would. I know it won't be the same, which is awful because I don't want the cinema to go. But maybe this affects me in a certain way that I think, actually, no, would I want to risk it? If you're in a cinema and everyone coughing. But this is, I think, the conversations people are having at the moment. And I think that for the studios, they're just looking at it going, how do we make money? What's the best way of making money?
I mean, to be honest, even before COVID, I wouldn't like to go to the cinema if people were there anyway. I'd rather go on my own.
Yeah.
With an empty cinema.
Yeah.
No kids annoying.
Yeah.
So, it's no different. I still go when it's quiet. Not at all.
It is one of the best things going to the cinema on your own and there being no one there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good. What are we looking forward to next week, gentlemen? What's on our huge list of things? There isn't anything, is there? None of us have got for the first time. Valentine's Day, of course. Thank you, James. You saved us. Valentine's Day at home.
Looking forward to it.
Oh my God, it's bad enough we have to go out.
Get a pizza for one.
Yeah.
Watch some late night wrestling. Walking around.
And play some of the games. Richard had his quiz.
Yeah. I start with Fallout 2.
Yeah, Fallout 2. Yeah, let's get that going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could play the San Andreas mod if you're feeling lonesome.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny that I would do that. It's an option.
Wow.
So there's not Valentine's Day. Richard, you haven't got anything, have you? It's just a weird week, isn't it? There's not a lot out.
Yeah. There's, I mean, it is Valentine's Day, but I'm more excited because it's Leeds v Arsenal on Sunday afternoon.
That's what you've got to look forward to. There you go.
That's what Laura's got to look forward to as well.
Happy Valentine's Day. Good. That's it. Well, let's see you next week, everyone. But Richard, if we want to find you, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter at Dobbo1912.
And James, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at OKGKO.
Good. And you can find me at GB Briley on Twitter or Twitch. But for now, until next week, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
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 You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of the show at www.TheXboxHub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.